Well, Nintendo continues to hold their cards very close to their chest when it comes to the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, releasing very little information so far. Well, that could all be about to change in the coming days because Nintendo are about to drop their latest Nintendo Direct, which is very likely to feature a heavy focus on Tears of the Kingdom. Well, today I want to dive into 6 topics we want Nintendo to cover in a Zelda-focused Nintendo Direct, plus also get your ideas on what you want to see too. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Zelda content and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. Well, before we get stuck into the video today, let me know in the comments what you want to see from a Legend of Zelda focused Nintendo Direct. Do you want to see story? Do you want to see gameplay? Do you want to see something else? Let us know in the comments and share your hype with the community. Well, looking back at Nintendo's recent past with game-specific Nintendo Directs, they have featured heavily in their marketing plans. We had a Nintendo Direct for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Splatoon 3, and also Animal Crossing New Horizons. Well, Tears of the Kingdom is set for release on the 12th of May 2023, so Nintendo are most likely preparing the ground for that big info release, given we're only a few months away from getting that game in our hands. Well, I want to have a look at the timing of that Nintendo Direct, but before we get into that, let's have a look at the content and have a go at predicting the big things that we want Nintendo to talk about in a Zelda-focused Nintendo Direct. Well, first of all, we have a big story trailer. So on the 13th of January 2017, roughly 2 months before the release of Breath of the Wild, Nintendo dropped one of the best trailers they ever made, and it showed the wide open spaces of Hyrule, the expansive landscapes, beaches, mountains, forests, grasslands, and then we saw the Master Sword laying dormant at the roots of the great Deku Tree. The music then swelled and sweeps into the back of Link. We see Link running, climbing, riding on a horse, Impa giving us a short history lesson in the voiceover. We saw one of the towers burst through the ground, Calamity Ganon swirling around Hyrule like some kind of ancient looming evil. We saw Princess Zelda running, Link with the champions, and Princess Zelda collapsing into Link's arms in tears. So this was an absolutely epic trailer, and it outlined what we'd be playing in only a few short months in Breath of the Wild. So that trailer was 3 minutes 49 seconds long, and the teasers we've had for Tears of the Kingdom have only been about 90 seconds each. So therefore, what I'd love to see from Nintendo is the same treatment for Tears of the Kingdom that we got for Breath of the Wild, with a trademark signature Nintendo story trailer for the next adventure in the Legend of Zelda series. Well, next up, I want to find out who Zelda is holding hands with. So one big mystery I'd like answered from an upcoming Zelda-focused Nintendo Direct is the identity of the characters from the tapestry that we recently saw in the name reveal trailer back in September 2022. Nintendo spent a long time telling us the story through the tapestry. However, we are yet to find out the identities of at least 2 characters here. First of all, we have a large character surrounded by what looks like to be tear-shaped objects. The character doesn't appear to resemble anyone that we've seen in the Zelda series before. However, they must be important because Nintendo focused on them very heavily in the name reveal trailer. Now, fans have speculated this could be a godlike character and perhaps the goddess Hylia herself. Secondly, in the same trailer, we see a female character, presumably Princess Zelda, and we see her a couple of times. First of all, we see her unconscious, raised into the air, looking like she's under a spell of some kind, and then we see her holding hands with another, and we presume this other person is going to be Link. However, Nintendo could pull the rug from under us and reveal it to be someone else. Now, I really want to see Nintendo go into details on who these characters are. Who is that big character surrounded by the tear shapes, and who is holding hands with the Princess Zelda. Well, next up, I would love to hear more from Nintendo about in-air combat. So Nintendo created 3 patents for Tears of the Kingdom related to gameplay, and they did leak some time ago, and we've seen 2 of those mechanics in teaser trailers so far. So first is the ability to rewind time. We've seen Link do that on a couple of occasions, sending a spiked ball back up a hill, plus also using it for traversal purposes. The second patent, well, that was related to travelling through solid matter, and again, we've seen Link do that when it comes to travelling upwards to the Sky Islands, appearing to use some kind of reverse droplet feature and travel up through solid concrete. Well, the final patent, and perhaps the most exciting one of all, is the one I'd like to see featured in a Zelda-focused Direct, and that is related to aerial combat. Given we're going to be in the sky, we're going to be travelling up and down much of the time in Tears of the Kingdom, it does make a lot of sense to use that space better and fill it with some action. Well, this patent points to Link having a few different states in the sky, diving vertically down, diving diagonally down, and appearing to fight in a horizontal position, whilst also falling from the sky. In some ways, I can see why Nintendo would choose to keep this one close to their chest. However, it feels like a major difference from Breath of the Wild, and now is the time to start talking about those differences, so fans don't simply think this is a glorified DLC, rather than a full-blown new game with really unique features of its own. Well, next up I want to talk about a Treehouse Live style feature. So, a great part of the build-up to Breath of the Wild was the Nintendo Treehouse Live presentation after E3 2016. This was Nintendo staff playing the game live, talking through what they were doing, and giving us insight into the game. Nintendo staff jumped up onto the Temple of Time, they looked out over at the scenery across Hyrule, highlighting the sun and the weather, then they set a point at the top of Mount Hylia, and they tried to get to the highest peak. Along the way they met a camp of bokoblins, snuck up on them, rolled a bomb into the camp, and we only got to see a glimpse of the Great Plateau. However, this kind of deep dive with staff was absolutely amazing. Now, while we don't have an E3 in the build-up to Tears of the Kingdom, we could follow a Zelda Direct with a new Treehouse Live presentation, where Nintendo staff and developers take us through whatever the opening section of the game is. I love that insight from developers, plus I want to see more of the game in action. Produced and edited trailers are great, but I really want to see the game running in real time. And the last time Nintendo did this kind of Treehouse Live presentation, they sat with us for 30 minutes and played through the game, so I'd really love to see that again for the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Well, next up, I really want confirmation of the identity of that corpse. Ever since that first trailer, we wondered who that corpse is under Hyrule Castle. Yes, we have speculated it's Ganondorf, and many of us want Ganondorf to come back. However, many folks have rightly pointed out that Ganondorf died at the end of Twilight Princess, and we haven't seen him since that face-off against Link at the end of the game. I think it's finally time for Nintendo to let us know, is that Ganondorf under Hyrule Castle? I think it's all but confirmed at this point, but Nintendo, we really need you to confirm that this corpse is Ganondorf or not, and also tell us more about the story, about how he got under Hyrule Castle in the first place. So finally today, in terms of things that we want to see from Nintendo in a Zelda-focused Direct, is an explanation of the tears in Tears of the Kingdom. Are they literal tears, for example? Are the people of Hyrule crying because of some kind of sad event, because maybe someone has died? Or are the Tears of the Kingdom physical objects that we have to collect around Hyrule and use them for some reason? For example, maybe we have to repair the Master Sword. Nintendo did come out to confirm it's tears, as in crying, and not tears, as in ripping paper. But Nintendo, we need more details. If they are tears because of a huge sad event that's taken place, what is that event? And how is it going to shape the upcoming adventure in the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? Well, that is it for the 6 things that we really want to see from a Zelda-focused Nintendo Direct, but the one thing that we really don't want to see is IG Aonuma come out and do this. We don't want an apology, and we definitely don't want a delay, so I'm mainly putting this in at the end for comedic effect, but I actually don't think we're going to get a delay. The reason for this is because Nintendo has dated the release with a specific date, and that is the 12th of May 2023, so I really don't think they would give us that date unless they were 110% confident of that release date. Therefore, I wouldn't worry too much about a delay, it's just all going to be fine. Well, let me know in the comments what you want to see from a Zelda-focused Nintendo Direct, plus what you think of what we covered here today. Let me know if you think I've missed anything important. Well, that is it for now for 6 things that we really want to see from a Zelda-focused Nintendo Direct. And as always, thank you so much for watching or listening. For more Legend of Zelda content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to Triforce Times. Or you can check me out on Twitter at Triforce Times. Well, if you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.